All right, fellow football lovers. It is 8:01 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday, November 27th, 2022. No, I am not dead. No, everything is fine. I've not been able to upload everybody because honestly, I have been very sick and under the weather since probably a little bit after live stream, I would say on Sunday, and really kicked into gear about Monday mid morning from it. I was down with the flu since like Monday ish. I tried to power through. I powered through work for it on Monday, but then I tried to power through Tuesday. Did not last maybe 10 minutes. I came home and just slept at that point from it. I missed out on uh, unfortunately eating my body weight and being a glutton for Thanksgiving. Very disappointed that I could not participate, just like many others did on that. But Swiggy, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing? How was your Thanksgiving? Anything fun on your end?
I had whiskey and I made a ribeye, so it's a pretty badass Thanksgiving.
Nice, nice. At least, I mean, to be honest, let's be fair. That was probably sounds like a good one. Nice little like what untraditional Thanksgiving for compared to the standard ham and uh turkey and everything.
Nah, I didn't see. Nah, I just didn't go down. I just didn't go and see my family this year. So since I decided not to do that, I normally when it's just me, I do duck. But I didn't.
Hmm.
But I've been so. But I've been. But I've been busy with other stuff this year. Didn't feel like roasting a whole duck, so I was just like, you know what, a ribeye with potatoes, mushrooms, and some apple cider with whiskey. That's a great Thanksgiving.
That sounds good. I had for friends, they dropped me off uh some Thanksgiving stuff from their leftovers because they felt so bad that I was on my deathbed. I wasn't like bad, but I was coughing pretty deeply. Like I just could not get out of bed from it. It's the flu, and I mean I'm not surprised the day after I caught it, which we suspected we got at the movie theater when we watched Black Panther because friends I went with, they also caught the exact same stuff I did and had the flu as well. So they brought some leftovers for me, so I got a little taste of Thanksgiving. Hopefully, I'll be able to go all out, obviously for Christmas time and the holidays this year. So, regardless, though, you know what else made me sick, and you know what else put up a better fight than my flu put up. Let's put it this way, Andrew. OU made me sick watching that game yesterday, but and then I watched that our defense couldn't stop a cold, which apparently my flu put up a bigger fight than anything our defense could. So it's just a for
Yeah,
those of y'all who did not watch and chose to skip, you may have done really well because yet again, OU in the season finale of the 2022 season, Team 128 throws up on themselves yet again and loses a one possession game because they can't get out of their own way, among other things, and loses to Lubbock in a wacky kind of game in uh against the Red Raiders because against I don't know what was worse, Andrew, us losing, having listened to like commentators who were basically borderline, if not in the camp of wanting to see Texas Tech win. Refs that were very bizarre, and then an optical illusion field goal. I mean, this game they just could not get out of their own way at this point.
I mean, I hate to say we couldn't get out of our own way because there were some things with the refs and everything with that. But yeah, the end of the first half was the end of the first half was ugly. Everything else after that was just kind of it's so weird because we came out. It's so weird. We came out strong. We came out confident. We
Mm-hmm.
looked pretty solid. We looked solid. And then things just kind of changed. I don't know if Tech made some adjustments and we just couldn't. Um, Now I will say I didn't listen to. I will say I was watching the game on mute because I was trying to finish up. I've been trying to finish up 100%ing God of War, so Ragnarok God of War.
Yeah.
So I didn't. So I had the game on more in the background because honestly, I don't want to say I didn't care about this game, but we're
But
going
you didn't
bowl.
care.
I mean, I've said it. I've said it all year. I don't. Once you go bowling, I don't consider any big difference between 6 and 9 wins. So I don't get me wrong. I would have liked win number 7. I would have
just
really
to push
liked.
over the 600 or the 0.500.
I would, yeah, definitely, yeah. I would have really liked to see the defense you continue some of the stuff we saw with Oklahoma State. And
Yeah,
you know what? For about 27 minutes in the first half, they did.
and then
The defense looked good for until about the sub 3 mark, and then everything. If there's one thing that's been true all season, once the bleeding starts, we we can't stop it.
once the bleeding starts, we go all in and be like, you know what? Let's just make this a hospital run at this point. Like every single time, and it's just they cannot get out of their own ways for it. Now, it wasn't penalties or anything that got us last night. With it was just like the same old song and dance, though. Is once their confidence appears to be shot, they were done. They were done. They just could not pull it together. And I mean, could you blame players? Could you blame coaches? It's the same thing. You could go back to Kansas State. You can go back to West Virginia, Baylor, whichever ones you want to pick, and it's just the same ones at this point. It's just what side of the ball was at fault? Was it the offense or the defense? That's the thing I think that frustrates me, Andrew, is at the end of the day, like the offense and defense were never on the same page throughout the entire year at this point, which is the most frustrating part to me. It's like if offense was doing competent, the defense didn't know how to tackle. If the offense can know how to throw a ball 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, the defense could play lights out. It was never any middle ground. There was never anything. Maybe the closest was Kansas, maybe Nebraska, but I'm not considering Nebraska since Nebraska was terrible this year. Sean, thank you for joining us tonight, buddy. It's been a couple of weeks. What is new with you, sir?
I just enjoyed some free samples.
Free samples of what?
Free samples from Los Angeles.
Interesting. If you're getting a reference for me, I'm not getting the reference.
Well, it's not a pop culture reference. People are going nuts right now in a certain place that you might know. So it's already out there. By on someplace else, fucking say it. We might be getting Rashad Samples as our new wide receivers coach.
Really? Well, isn't it because Kale's now out at USC?
No. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm talking about at Oklahoma. Rashad Samples, who was at one point like the number one recruiter for SMU when they were on their run. Do you like Dallas-Fort Worth recruiting?
Of course, I
love
like
that.
Fort Worth.
Do you if you like Dallas-Fort Worth recruiting and this comes to fruition, yeah, this is potentially pretty big.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's got to be one of the biggest things going.
Everyone's like, don't nobody say anything. Nobody say anything. There's like 3 message board threads and all the OU message boards within like 10 minutes. So it's like,
oh wow.
Fuck. I'm like, fuck it, I'll say it too.
Gotcha.
You can't blame me. Although I did post a GIF on Twitter that said free samples, so maybe that gave a hint to some people.
That's fair.
I mean,
but if you want some happy news, 24 hours later, I have no idea of a timeline, a timetable, but the Rams are having a shitty year, so
yeah,
it could happen. It's not like they're playoff bound this year, so I think
it could happen. Yeah,
it could happen sooner than later. No pun intended. But
yeah,
I'm like I said, like I know people are prisoner of the moment last night, and look, I watched the game, and we saw the best and worst of Oklahoma last night. It was literally a microcosm of the entire season. We saw how good they could be, and we saw how bad they could be, and it cost them the game in the end. Now, I'm not going to waste energy on a phantom field goal that was good or not good. I don't have the energy to be outraged whether we're 6-6 or 7-5. It's just not worth the effort.
Plus, it doesn't guarantee, like, even if it went in, like we.
If you want me to be brutally honest, even if we make the field goal, I think they'd score a touchdown anyway and win it over.
Yeah, that's me.
So,
like it is.
So it's like every time it felt like we were going to take control of the second half, just poor angles, poor tackle. It was mostly poor. It wasn't poor tackle. It was poor angles, poor pursuit angles. Every time I'd see guys like, oh, they're out of position, or there's no way we don't have the athleticism or the speed to catch up with what those guys are doing. You had Donovan Smith to the equation. I knew that was going to be a problem going into this game.
Yeah,
and they didn't bring him in as early as I thought they would, but props to Tech. They beat OU and Texas in the same season for the first time ever. So, and considering, and they tore the goalpost down. First time they beat OU in 10 years, which is, I said last night, that's really something considering we used to alternate wins with them all the time when Leach was there and whatnot. And so it was just one of those deals where, can I help you, dog?
What it was.
Dog?
It was what it was essentially. Last night you're on the nose for it. I mean, me personally I had my mini meltdown last night, and then I'm still on the board of I'm not a fan of Levy and I'm not a fan of Roof. I think those are justified, especially looking at a full body of work, especially with what he had to work with.
Levy's not the problem.
No, it's
Levy is I know people are like, I have my issues with Levy here and there, but no, Levy's not the issue.
If you put up 48 points, you should be able to win.
Yeah, Roof has to go.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to scream about it, but I've said it all season. He's a hand puppet for Brent. So,
but he failed at that.
Well, Brent is still. I think the one thing if Brent takes away from this year is that Brent was very involved with the defense, and he was constantly coaching up the guys on the sidelines. So I do think if there's one thing you can criticize Brent is there's game management is definitely an issue. There are certain moments where they do need to like people are going back and forth. Like we're like with Riley, we weren't going fast enough, and with Levy or whatever, we're going too fast.
Yeah,
I do think there's a happy medium at certain points where like the whole when they tried to when it was 4th and 1 and they did a hurry up and they were so discombobulated. It's like, why are you? It's like there's no need to rush that. Get your shit together. You try to run a quick. You don't have the offensive line to make that kind of push. You just don't because like Rame's out for the rest of the year. He got surgery and the middle of
Congle
that line
sucks.
I mean he does. Like he's the backup center for a reason. So I don't hold it against him personally. He just happens to be the backup center. I think Rame comes back next year. You got Bates who's going to come in and push him. So I think you have a young guy who I would start over Conjul as a high school senior at this point, but it's just, I think people are just like, I see people get upset and pissed off, and it's like, I'm watching the games like, I'm not getting mad.
No,
I'm not going to lose sleep whether we're 6-6 or 7-5. It's not going to affect my weekend anymore because I stopped getting mad like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Well, for personal reasons, I stopped because I needed to. But the point of the matter is that it's like people say, oh, there's a big difference between perception 7-5 and 6-6. Is it really?
No.
Like, people aren't gonna like, oh well, the Oklahoma 7-5. It's like, who cares?
Recruits don't care. I don't care. Nobody
cares.
No,
like, the recruits we give a shit about. Like, if you think 7-5 or 6-6 is going to sway them at this point or change their mind at this point, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Because most of and we're still flipping Peyton Bowen. So, I said it before, if you made me choose between the last 2 weeks, if you made me choose, you can only win one. Which one are you winning? I'm winning Bedlam.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm winning Bedlam too because I went to that. Like,
well, no, but like,
kind of win that because I spent money.
Right, but it's your last day. It's your last time of the year where you can host recruits during a game, and you put on a really good performance. Okay, you still look good offensively last night for what it's worth. The only play that pissed me off was Levy trying to pull
Levy calling it on getting Dylan smacked.
Yeah, the wide receiver. It's like and if it was executed a little bit better, it would have been a touchdown potentially. But no, you have one quarterback on the roster who can actually do something, and I'm just like, oh my god, is he dead? Please don't be dead. Jeez,
and he looked dead. I mean, at least for me, I thought he broke something.
You could find. I mean, my live stream stuff. You could probably find me in the moment where I'm just like, what? It's like,
I'm sorry. Well, and that is ultimately why I put Levy in the same camp as I do with Roof. Roof got to go. You got to get somebody.
No, I don't do that.
Levy, my issue is he's just a good coordinator. He does not adjust.
But that's what I want him to be a good coordinator. Like,
no, I want him to be a great coordinator.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. The play did work. He caught the ball for a first down. So the worst thing you can say is that you put your quarterback in danger when you don't have a credible backup. Not that it matters because we're not playing for anything. I was like, man, I would really like you if you don't kill our quarterback. But yeah, I'm not. I don't hate on Levy like other people. We've seen plays. How many times I've lost count? How many times we've seen a beautiful play call drawn up where a receiver just drops the ball.
Yeah,
that would have been a huge gain.
I don't blame.
I can't blame him for that. I drew up the perfect play. You have to execute on the field. I don't blame the coordinator for that. I blame certain guys. Or now you could say the quarterback doesn't have the ball on target, but we've seen plenty of times where it's like, dude, it is in stride. And maybe they were so shocked that the ball was in stride because, whoa, this really got to me right. Like literally precision passing at certain points. Like we've seen it with Mims. We saw it with Javonte Barnes last night. And granted, he's a running back and he's a freshman, but it was a tad behind him, but he should have been able to catch that ball still. So again, I'm not like people hate on Levy. I'm fine with Levy to an extent. There needs to be a meeting of the minds of like, okay, like you like maybe
his tempo though is not working with the defense.
Well, the tempo is fine if you have the talent to consistently back
it
up, and he doesn't have that right now. So he was trying to keep things going the way he usually do stuff when he has like a lot of big time players at Ole Miss at certain positions back when he was there. But overall, no, I'm fine with that. As I said, Roof, like whether Roof stays or goes, I think is inconsequential at this point. I just don't think it matters that much because I think this comes down to Brent, and he's got to learn to manage. He's got to learn to manage the game better. He's got to learn to. He's got to take more command of like, okay, we need to not snap the ball. Even though we won Bedlam, it's like there were times when in the fourth quarter last week where we're trying to run the clock, and you're snapping the ball with like 15 seconds in the play.
Yeah, that was bad.
So funny. So funny enough, Sean, Andrew knows about it. I went with my sister and brother-in-law to the game for it, and we were both going insane. Me and Tell both, because I was going insane of Levy. Let the clock drain. My brother-in-law's like, please, for the love of God, let the clock drain.
Yeah, but is that Levy? Yeah, but is that Levy?
I think it's Levy and Venables with it because Venables is letting it happen. I think it's both.
I don't know enough about I just don't know enough about that. I mean, they need to fix it, whoever's job it is. But that is what it is. So,
well, and it's what y'all said too, where it's like there's a delicate balance, and they haven't found the delicate balance between what is the right tempo for the offense and defense, vice versa, but also too was keeping guys prepared to be able to make those plays on the field. Again, I don't blame Levy for calling a play and the guy just completely whiff on it. I do blame him if he's asking Dylan to throw 70-yard bombs when Dylan doesn't do that. He may get that once or twice a game. He's not doing that 6 or 7, 10 times a game like we've seen him try to call up.
Well, I mean, quarterback's going to be interesting next year because Dylan Gabriel has yet to make a decision on what he's going to do.
It ain't NFL.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever. I think he's coming back next year. Even if he doesn't, it'll mean they have to go portal another quarterback because
I'm just.
You know who I hope portals like soon? I really hope just so I don't have to hear his fucking name anymore. And I don't hate the kid. I hate people. I don't know who. I want Nick Evers to go away.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
I need, and not because he didn't do anything wrong. It's just
people keep asking for.
People say, "Why isn't Nick Evers playing?" Because I'm sorry, there are stupid fucking morons in our fan base who see 4 stars next to his name and just assume he's going to be good. and I hate those people so goddamn much. I fucking hate them. Every fucking week in my chat, every goddamn fucking week in my chat, I have to hear, where is Nick Evers? Why isn't Nick Evers playing? I heard he was good. Nick Evers has his film is just as good as Jackson Arnold, and I want to fucking rip my heart out of my chest and slam it against the wall so I don't have to live anymore and hear this goddamn fucking bullshit. I fucking hate every one of you goddamn Facebook, Twitter, casual OU fans who don't know what the fuck you're talking about. God damn, I fucking hate you all. I wish you'd shut the fuck up about goddamn Nick Evers.
I'm glad you were able to release. I'm glad you were
Fuck me, man. You know how hard it was to hold back last night, last game of the fucking year, and have to hear people actually legitimately say out loud, Nick Evers, Nick Evers, Nick Evers. Dude, it's fucking November 26th.
You know what's funny too?
At
It's not
some
even
point,
funny to say it tongue in cheek anymore either. Where it's like, let's throw him in. Yeah, after Texas, sure. Now,
some people do it. No, so I know the people who are doing it just to get a rise out of me, but there are actually people who's like, Nick Evers next year is going to be your starting quarterback. No, he fucking isn't.
No, he's not.
There are two people who will be your starting quarterback next year: Dylan Gabriel or Jackson Arnold. And I have news for those people. Dylan Gabriel's likely your starting quarterback against Arkansas State next year, whoever the fuck we play week 1.
Man, I'm still convinced it's going to be Jackson Arnold, but I mean, I've been proven
not
wrong
week 1. No,
not week 1.
I don't think no. He'll play a fuck ton. I promise you that. I guarantee you that if we get in a game with Arkansas State and we have the capability of running up the score, which feels like it's been a minute since we've been able to do that on anybody.
Yeah.
But if that happens, then I think you'll see lots of Jackson Arnold in second halves, and it'll get to a point where he's going to have an entire off season because he's a December, January guy. Thank fucking
right.
God. And he'll come in and he'll be the cat, and he'll be the biggest off season what ifs story for going into the next year, because there's like a hatred for Dylan Gabriel from some OU fans.
I don't hate him, but I accept he's a 2-star quarterback. That's all he is.
No, he's better than a 2-star quarterback. Let's not get crazy here. It's just the fact that he's like, we were so goddamn spoiled with quarterback play since 2015. Hell, you can go back to 2003 and if you want to say we're spoiled in quarterback play. But it's just he's not getting there's multiple statues outside of the stadium of quarterbacks with one yet to be erected. So he's there's another one that should have been put up there after this year. Well, we could talk about that another time. It's just the fact that offense for the most part was not the main issue this year, in my opinion. We were able to score enough points. Defensively, Brent tries to run his defense, doesn't have the talent. I think that's because we lost 3 games by 3 points and 1 game by a touchdown. And if you could play the what if game all day. If you change a few plays here or there, we're a double-digit win team potentially. But the same thing could be said about the year before, where it's like, we won multiple 1-score games and we were on the other end of that. We could have easily had last year things went south.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but the difference was we had a future Heisman winning quarterback and the best D line we've had in 10 years.
Correct. And
guess what we don't have now? The best D line in 10 years and a Heisman winning quarterback. You take those two things away. Oh, look, we're a 6-6 football team. What a shot.
Right, and the pendulum swung that direction. I mean, we had that happen so many times last year, and it is what it is. Like, I mean, I think, Sean, you said, and so did you, Andrew, I think what summed up last night for me, and my own meltdowns aside from it and taking the step back from it, like I said, I'm not a fan of Lebby. That's not a secret. But I think last night encapsulated my moment was when I think it was Reggie White went to tackle Texas Tech's QB, literally did nothing, just stood in front of him and let him
Reggie
run
White?
past him.
Wow, he came back to life. Reggie White came back to life, the Minister of Defense. And
number 23. I think it was Reggie White. I'm pretty sure it was Reggie White.
The Pro Football Hall of Famer?
No, I'm sorry, Grimes. I'm sorry, Reggie Grimes. He just stood in front of him. Like he froze up and Texas Tech's quarterback went around him and got like I think 15 or something, 20.
You
yards.
see,
He
if
got
we
the
had
first down.
Reggie White, we'd be undefeated this year.
Oh
And
yeah.
Instincts matter.
Well, I was just like, bro, if you're gonna do that and let him whiff, at least high five him as he goes by, so you can at least say you attempted to tackle him. Like,
I want to. I mean, that's an instinct thing. Instinct thing. Wasn't sure what he was going to do. Picked just to kind of just do that, and good instinct. Guy with good
Deshaun White.
instincts
I got mixed up. Deshaun, yeah.
Guy with good instincts can take him down. Unfortunately, didn't happen. But
yep, could have laid him out, and he didn't. And that was, to me, that is what the season was missed opportunities, and you had it in your grasp, and you let it go. And I mean,
maybe we could portal Xavier Worthy to the wide receiver group.
Well, the problem
he already deleted everything off of his Instagram. Anything related.
I mean, you'd have to put up with drop passes.
No. The problem with Xavier Worthy is he gets too wide open.
Oh my God, what a problem! Yeah, he's so wide open. He just drops passes. Like he like I think the most critical times was like against one against OSU and once against Bama. And obviously, if he can't, like, the most wide open you could be and drop, it's like you beat Alabama if you make that catch. I did laugh that they were rooting like hell for Kansas yesterday, and all for naught. They are not going to be playing in the Big 12 title game. It will be a rematch between the two best teams of the conference this year, as it should be.
Yeah,
purple on purple
crime. So, I am rooting for TCU just because so people who talk about college football who don't watch college football just look like morons.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that yesterday did was like, well, we're not going to have too much controversy unless things go absolutely fucking nuts this coming Saturday, because your top four is pretty much set right now if those teams went out. So Georgia's likely going to win. Michigan's going to win. TCU's a toss-up, and so is USC. So I will say this.
But it's college football, so sometimes the most boring thing can happen. So I think they're all going to win, but
I think LSU has just got to be like looking themselves in the mirror today as like, what did you do?
Oh yeah,
what did you do?
Because just looking at it, Ohio,
Georgia is beatable. I don't care what anyone says. Like, Georgia's really good and deserves to be number one.
Yeah,
but they're beatable this year.
Yeah,
like Georgia Tech messed around with them for a half without anything close to the talent LSU has.
Yeah.
LSU could, if you mess around with a half with a talented team like LSU, you could lose. But it's not gonna. Now you're just playing the role of spoiler, because even if Georgia loses, they're still in. It's not gonna matter. They're not taking a 3-loss team and putting them in the playoff. Michigan just wow. JJ McCarthy. No, for real. JJ McCarthy completes a 4 pass downfield more than once, and it's literally Michigan saved all of their big plays for this game. And it sounds stupid when you say it like that, but considering the history of this rivalry, I believe it. JJ, whatever you do, we're not going to throw the ball downfield until we get to Columbus. Holy fuck. It is like a Michigan fan's wet dream yesterday to win the game like they did yesterday. My God. And they did it in Columbus, and they broke all of their hearts. Like, that's what college football is all about.
Fire Ryan Day into the sun. I say this as someone who grew up in Ohio and is at least and has it and is still a mild Ohio State fandom.
Cannot wait to listen to Valenti tomorrow and
get ready.
Cannot wait.
Ryan Day should have been fired today.
Now
he should have been.
I don't know.
That bitterness, Andrew, right there. I can hear.
No. Ryan Day was a failed quarterbacks coach from the Niners until Urban took him, brought him on to Ohio State. Then Urbaned it up at Florida, and they didn't want to break continuity, so they hired the offensive coordinator. And you're 4 years in. I'm getting big Larry Coker at Miami after Butch Davis left vibes.
Yeah.
I would. This is the second time in 2 years Ohio State has lost by 2 scores to Michigan. Both times, if they win, they're in the playoff and might be able to make some trouble. Fire Ryan Day.
You know we haven't talked about yet.
Which
Fucking
one?
fucking Shane Beamer, man, at South Carolina. Just what
Hats off to him.
And
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler. Speaking of best,
Have yourself a day.
No, speaking of like the best and worst, you got the best and worst to Spencer Rattler yesterday, but it was still enough to barely beat Clemson on the road.
Yeah.
Man, like he threw a bad pick in the end zone early in that game where it felt like, oh no, that's gonna cost them, isn't it? Like they had because they got a turnover deep in and they were able to and it's like, oh no. And I'm like, oh Rattler, why? Because he had 2 really bad picks, but then South Carolina was able to run the ball. Rattler makes some plays, and they play defense because DJ Uiagalelei is awful. He is like people think DJ Uiagalelei. He was like 8 for 25 or something yesterday. It was terrible. It was awful.
He's been bad all year. The only thing that saved him is that the ACC is a legitimately terrible conference.
Like Clemson at worst right now should be number 6. At worst, and they would have a shot to play in this thing if a team above them drops.
Yeah,
like they would go in over Ohio State more than likely with the conference title. Because Ohio State's big win is Notre Dame at this point. If they sneak in,
which is not USC's biggest win.
That's not. Ohio State's not getting in. I don't see it.
Not if SC loses, they will.
That's fair. I mean, but
they got to play Utah again, and we all know how that turned out last time. Now it's not a gimme; it was a close game, but let's be fair here. That was a home game on the road in Salt Lake. This is in Vegas, so that's on Friday night. So we're gonna know going into Saturday if a spot is open.
Yeah.
So that's the fun part of like this upcoming weekend. Friday night Pac-12 title game. It's the first Pac-12 title game where in a while where a playoff spot is on the line, at least for one team. Well, I take that back. That's not necessarily true. I think Oregon or Utah have definitely been in the mix, but it feels like it's been a while.
It's the first. It's
been a couple years. It's been a couple years.
It's the first time I've wanted to watch a Pac-12 title game for like stakes, other than just like it's a game on Friday. Well, no, I don't watch it.
Well, I always remember because Utah was definitely. Back in 19 was likely going to get in. And we needed Oregon to win that game. And so I spent the entire week watching, I binged the 2017 DuckTales cartoon and just had the theme song playing over and over again just to show my support for the Ducks to win that game. And I just kept playing that thing on repeat during the game. Like the 2017 remix is a good remix. So the Ducks came through. They didn't come through yesterday. Holy fucking shit, did they choke? What a choke job. Oh my god, 31-10 late in the third quarter. Jeez, it sounds like OU K-State 2020.
Live by Bo Nix, die by Bo Nix.
Yeah.
They just couldn't penetrate that tight beaver defense.
Exactly.
A lot of people have problems with that.
Yep. Don't forget to Lane Kiffin's weird way to call 2 timeouts. Don't forget about that. That was a weird game too.
I didn't even watch the Egg Bowl that much. I know Mississippi State won, but I was kind of done with football when the Cowboys beat the Giants and the most watched NFL regular season game ever, I guess. Jeez, like that shocked me. It's like, really? I mean, I guess it was 2 big market teams and it's the Cowboys and I guess everyone was watching TV that like, okay. I was like, all right, like Dallas Cowboys play Thanksgiving every year. It's never the best number 1 watch game, but oh well.
That's death taxes. Dallas plays and wins. Detroit finds a way to humiliate themselves on Thanksgiving.
There are no good movies this year for Thanksgiving.
Why do you say that?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I think that played into it. There was nothing like, oh, this is a must-see over the Thanksgiving weekend you're taking your family to. So if there's not a must-see, you might as well watch the Cowboys.
Are you saying, Andrew, that you did not want to go see Black Panther for like the 20th time?
I have not seen it yet. I just haven't had a
No.
chance to go.
No,
I don't think you're missing out on anything. It's okay.
I'm all
It
about
doesn't
the.
really do anything.
I think you could say the same thing about most Marvel stuff nowadays, because
Yeah.
you really can't top what you finished with in Endgame.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do side stuff here and there, but you're never going to build up to something that big ever again.
I'm all about the way. I'm all about the way of water, hanging with the Na'vi on Pandora.
I mean, I might go see that. I'm not like, God, that felt such a lifetime ago. Fucking Avatar. And it's like, here's another Avatar movie. Oh, you made it finally. Oh, so you actually made this movie. You promised us like 12 sequels, and you finally got to number 2. Well, I mean, I guess. Oh, okay then.
I mean, better late than never, right?
Yeah. So, oh Lord, Dabo might go to Auburn. So
now, are you saying that very tongue in cheek, or are you like, no, this actually could happen?
I mean, it's kind. There's a look. When I say there's smoke, it's like, is something burning in the kitchen? It's that type of smoke.
It's that type of. It could be there.
Is there something burning in the kitchen? As opposed to your entire neighborhood is on fire.
So what you're telling me is the rumors of Lane Kiffin going to Auburn is fake? I'm very
Lane Kiffin is the first person to jump up and go, no, I'm not, like, just making fun of people reporting it. I appreciate Lane Kiffin for doing that.
Lane's also the only one who could do that. Outside of probably Mike Leach.
He's like, that. He just quote tweets, "That's news to me." Or, there's one thing I always appreciate Lane Kiffin is like him just being the ultimate Twitter troll. He does not give a fuck.
I mean, with everything he's been through, he don't care. Like one tweet, who cares?
But
well, here's my question for you, Andrew and Sean. If all 4 teams that are expected to be in the champion or in the playoff lose this week, and who's our top 4 then at that point?
Wait, what? If they, so if like a meteor hits the earth, like who survives is what you're asking me.
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it my best shot. Georgia is in regardless.
Agree.
So they survived the meteor. Okay.
Ohio State is in.
Yep.
SC loses and TCU loses. I think TCU is in. Just based off strength of record, and they have a bunch of quality wins. And then we're down to a bunch of 2-loss teams, and so
Bama or Tennessee.
I honestly, I think USC is the only casualty
for this weekend.
No. If
it all implodes.
No, if you say it all implodes, I think Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and TCU are in. I think USC is the one casualty where it actually matters.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, you're not going to kick Michigan out because they beat Ohio State.
No.
Then
you're not going to kick Georgia out because
they lost the conference championship game.
Yeah.
You're not going to kick TCU out.
Ohio State will get in just because, fuck it, they're 1 loss, and their only loss was to Michigan. And then USC is going to be 2 losses. TCU will have had wins over K-State already. Like, it would actually make more sense for TCU to lose to K-State, bump up their ranking, and say, hey, we beat them in the regular season.
Yeah.
Hey, we lost and beat to top 10 K-State. So it might be a good idea to say, guys, let's take the week off. If we lose to them, it bumps up our best win, and it's the best of both worlds. We get a quality win and a quality loss.
I mean,
fuck
SEC,
yeah.
That's the best way to go about it.
College football.
It's brilliant. You're a fucking genius. Let's play the 4th stringers. Guys, we're gonna get in no matter what.
This may
you wait to see if USC loses, guys, we're taking the day off.
Yeah.
Biggest galaxy.
Don't get hurt. Just don't get hurt. K-State wins the Big 12. They jump up 6 spots to like number 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, and it gives TCU like a quality top 10 win. Because the committee loves quality top 10 wins more than anything. I mean, they do. It's like they love the. If you have a top 10 win on your resume, that's what will put you in the playoff over anything else.
Yeah. Again,
yeah.
I was just curious on it. Now, assuming everybody wins, is there an interesting matchup for a playoff that you would like to see from it? Because obviously, for it seeded, I'm assuming it's Georgia TCU. Probably.
No, I would actually love to see. It kind of sucks that they lost, but I've been jonesing to watch Georgia and Ohio State play in a game that matters for a long time, just as a college football fan. If SC loses, then that could potentially happen. So I don't know. I'm rooting like hell for Utah. Just to, yeah. I want Utah to win just to throw the Heisman into a kerfuffle. Like everyone was last week. Oh, CJ Stroud's loses. Oh, it's Caleb Williams now. I hope Utah just destroys them. Now what do? Now who's your Heisman winner, you fucks?
Max. TCU. All right, we still got one.
Max. Okay, Max. They beat the hell out of Iowa State yesterday, which means nothing because nobody watched that game. Right. If Max Duggan has the game of his life against K-State and just drops 450 and 5 touchdowns on them, it'll leave an impression. But Blake Corum of Michigan's not going to win it because he's hurt. Michigan won big yesterday, but he played 5 snaps. He couldn't play. He just couldn't do it. Right. His tag team partner in the backfield had a great day running the football. Stetson Bennett is going to get no love for the Heisman ever because it's
Stetson Bennett.
Well, he's just not the reason they're great. Georgia's defense and running the football is what makes them good. Now, granted, their tight end is awesome. They have the best tight end in the country.
I mean, there's some Texas fan out there saying you're disrespecting Bijan.
I mean,
Bijan shouldn't have lost 3 games.
I mean, he might get invited. I mean, who cares? Bijan gets invited. Who cares? Invite him. Yeah. Let him see the sights. Let him catch a Knicks game. Who cares? He's not going to win it.
Yeah.
What did he do outside of he's just the best player in the country? Okay, what did he do? People get mad about the Heisman. Oh, it doesn't go to the best player. It's bullshit. Bullshit. It doesn't for the most part. Don't sit here and tell me your best player. Yes, the Heisman has evolved. People. The people who are oh, I miss the days when Paul Hornung would win the Heisman on a 2-win Notre Dame team. Fuck you. Who? Guess what? The best player. I get I get if you're upset if defensive players get overlooked at times, but Will Anderson should win the Heisman. Did he earn it this year? No, he didn't. So no, because no one's bitching about Will Anderson because the defense for Alabama kind of sucks this year.
They suck big time.
The one defensive player that should have won it was Ndamukong Suh. If Nebraska wins the Big 12 championship without 1 second being put back on the clock, he probably wins the Heisman Trophy. So I do think he was 1 second away from winning it. So yeah, hell, Orlando Pace was the one offensive lineman that came close to potentially winning the Heisman because he was just so fucking dominant. He would knock people on their asses when he was at Ohio State back in the 90s. So, but yeah, it's going to go to a quarterback 99% of the time every year because guess what? Quarterbacks are pretty damn important in the modern day of college football. Look at USC. You get a legitimate quarterback. Oh, look! All of a sudden, they only have 1 loss, and you think USC is good just because of Lincoln's there? No, he stole a quarterback. Brought it. That's the reason where they're at right now.
It's not sure. I mean, USC is literally us in a trench coat. That's what it was last year's team.
Yeah, they're literally. I said it weeks ago. I was Oklahoma would literally be USC this year. Mm-hmm. If nothing had changed.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison would have come along, probably. I'm not joking. He probably would have come over.
I know you're not joking.
And so we would have been in this spot, and I would be making all the same arguments that I made in the past. I was hey, I'd be screaming, hey, we get a chance to avenge our 1 loss. We're in the spot. All we got to do is win, and we're in, boom, boom, boom. And we can beat. And I'd be talking about how we could go up against, people are blah, 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 and Cowherd's our best friend, blah, 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 or whatever. Well, he wouldn't be, but he would, because we wouldn't be because Riley wouldn't be at USC. But it's just, I don't know. I like that the playoff is going to potentially be outside of. Georgia and Michigan weren't it last year, but if it's TCU and USC, it'll be different for people. I mean, people aren't going to give a shit about you or TCU. They're going to like, who's TCU? And I was like, well, TCU feels like a team that can win a playoff game if they have the right opponent.
Yeah,
like if they play Michigan,
they'll have a shot against Michigan.
I think they could beat Michigan because of the injuries to their running back situation. But I just think that would be a hell of a game, and that would be that would be where is it this year? Is it it's like it's Peach and Fiesta this year, I think.
I think so.
2018 was Orange. 19,
I want to say it is Peach and Fiesta.
It could be Orange and it could be the Orange. It could be the Orange and Cotton.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking up now too.
Is it Peach and Fiesta? I think it's Peach and Fiesta.
Yeah,
I think
year,
it is.
It's
I think it.
No, it's not the Cotton Bowl. It's not the Cotton Bowl. It's Fiesta and Peach. Yep.
Yeah, because I was trying to remember the rotation for 19 was Peach and Fiesta, so 3 years later, Peach and Fiesta.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not.
So Georgia's hosting the Peach Bowl, obviously. So dude, Fiesta Bowl in the desert with Michigan and TCU, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, I would be a good one with it, and neither of them would get blown out, in my opinion, on it.
I mean, I could see TCU getting bullied on the line of scrimmage potentially. But
they'll have a shot.
SC would get crushed in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, they would.
Like
they'd have the same problems we've had before. They would get destroyed because defense.
They have no one worth a shit on defense. Like
no, they don't. No, they don't. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy for them that they're having some success. I'm not happy with us, but like,
you can be happy if you want. I'm not happy. Fuck that.
I mean, Caleb's good, but Georgia's defense is scary.
I just like how we're the bad guys for like a.
Karma. Matt Leinart's stupid.
Fucking Matt like we're the bad guys. Yeah, because like. We came and stole something from you, apparently. And it was like, yeah.
Matt Leinart is literally Swiggy. What's the meme where it's like the guy shoots and he's like, why would they do this? He is literally embodiment of that meme of why would OU do this? Matt, what are you smoking, dude?
I love the Eric Andre show. It's so great.
Like,
why would Oklahoma fans do this?
Matt's dumb. Like he literally had to.
Like, we do have a lot of like every college fan base that's like really big and has a lot of stupid fans. And listen, I joined in on a fucking with Mandel and all those guys and stuff. But it's like my problem with them is that they recanted on their statement early on, and then now they're jumping back on it. So it's like if I would respect you more if you said, actually, I'm sticking to my guns. I don't care that you're 3-0. You're still gonna suck. I'd respect you more if I did, but no, you went back on the other side of the fence and said you were wrong. It's like, oops, sorry. No, I'm not. Yeah. If you're gonna troll, go all the way with it, because I'll at least respect you for it. But if you're gonna be a bitch about it halfway through, no, you don't get any credibility from me.
You make me think of Mike from Monsters Inc. Look, first off, if you're gonna insult me, do it correctly.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my live stream chat every week. If you're gonna insult me, like if someone tries to troll my chat and they just do a terrible job, I just block them out of principle. It's like, no,
yeah,
it's like it's like when OSU fans try to come in and like it's like it's like when a youth pastor tries to insult you without cursing and tries to sound edgy about it. It's
bless
like
your heart.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, you sound like a youth pastor trying to be edgy but without cursing, and it's like, ugh, go away. You don't get any pussy, do you? Just like, please, fuck off. Oh my God, you are pathetic. You have never seen a naked woman in front of you in your life without paying for it. Please go away.
Oh, that's a laugh I haven't had in about 3 to 4 weeks. Ooh, that does not work when I have had the flu. Ooh. Jeez. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
you got me on that one, Sean. You got me. I mean,
it's the truth.
Yeah. What? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just like, I'm just glad this season's fucking over.
I am too.
For my health, It just, I think a good 9 months away from the sport in general is going to do wonders for my health. And because I don't have to put up with any more bullshit. Whatever bowl game we go to, I'll do it. And it's not going to matter if we win or lose. People will pretend it matters. It doesn't matter if we win or lose.
I may still want to win, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I would like
Yeah.
to win, but I would like what I've kind of adjusted my thought on bowl games now is like, okay, it's turned into this is where your young guys who have redshirted get a chance to play, and you get to see what they look like. Like people got excited about Jalil Farouk last year, and he made some plays this year a little bit, but it gives you an idea of like here's what the future could be with some guys that you're redshirting. So that's what I'm kind of. I wish like bowl games outside of like the big ones didn't count. I wish bowl games for the most part just didn't count towards your eligibility at all. Like I'm being greedy here.
Exhibition.
Yeah, if you're gonna treat them like if they're exhibitions and they don't matter, don't treat them account for eligibility. Like if you want to count the playoff and stuff, well, yeah, you want to or whatever, fine. But if they're exhibitions as you treat them as, don't count them towards eligibility. So if you got a guy who played 4 games so you can keep their red shirt, say add that in a bowl game to that mix.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair
Because you're gonna have
matters, but this is just whatever.
But because the reason I say that is because you're already seeing it today. It didn't happen it hasn't really happened as big for OU yet because I think they're waiting till for you're going to see it throughout the week. But you're going to have an exodus of players, and you're going to.
I mean, and the question is who's it going to be though?
Oh, like Clayton Smith is gone. Joseph Wette is gone.
The guys that are already
Wanye Morris is going to declare for the draft. Which
I mean, I know it's so
okay. You do that, bro. You best of luck. But I mean, if there's a guy that you heard about, like 3 or 4 years ago, who hasn't played, who hasn't done shit, chances are they're gone. Unless you're Bray Walker, then you just stay around forever for whatever reason. Bray Walker's just here. He refuses to leave. He really likes the snacks they hand out after practice and after workouts.
Don't be judging the happy snacks, man.
No, man, I like more power to you, man. If you sit in a corner, nobody notices you, and you're having a good time. More power to you, bro. But I mean, you're taking up a spot, so
you can stick around as a guest.
Bray Walker was like a 5-star offensive lineman, but has like two lead feet. He's just it's just he's a nice dude, nice guy, not a bad teammate, just not a good football player on the top level. He just isn't.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, my assumption is with the portal and stuff, we'll probably see obviously or draft for sure. Like you said, Wanye. I expect Ethan Downs gone. I expect
maybe. I don't know.
David Ugweburu, I'm betting he's gone. I'm assuming Woody Washington's gone.
No, actually don't. Woody's actually coming back from what I understand.
I mean, if he can figure it out, I'll happily.
Dude, Woody's been playing some solid football this year.
Yeah, but man, when he whiffs hard. He reminds me a lot of Zach Sanchez in his position.
Dude, give him another year at Brent. I think. Now, I think CJ Colden's gone, unfortunately, which really makes me sad.
I do too.
He was really coming along. But again, I'm not upset about second. I think the secondary is going to be really good in the next couple of years. Like the next few years, I'm really excited about the secondary. Like really excited, especially if Peyton Bowen comes in. Like Peyton Bowen comes in, he's like instant 2 deep. Like he's not guaranteed to start right away. He's a 5. I know he's a 5-star. Doesn't guarantee he starts, but he's instant 2 deep without question. So I haven't been like I just need. They're going to portal more D linemen. Obviously, they've already gotten started with Lacey for Notre Dame, and he's going to be rotation. He's a rotational guy, which is fine. You need rotational guys. But you need like Kelvin Gilliams, I know dealt with some injuries. So you need him to hopefully take another step forward. What
about Jalen Redmond? Do you think he's gone?
I think he will. Yeah, I think he's gonna get flagged for his medical issues in the draft, more than likely. So
yeah,
because he's got the sickle cell thing going against him. I could be wrong.
Oh, that I don't know.
He's got something.
You know more than I do.
He's got something like a medical condition that's gonna get him flagged, unfortunately, for the draft physical and whatnot. So it's just unfortunately how it is. But they need like I said, I'm excited about potential. The linebackers are redshirting this year. Hopefully, like Kobe McKenzie and Kanik hopefully will be guys that will contribute next year. So, but front seven wise,
they're gonna get decimated a little bit.
Well, I mean, PJ Adebari is gonna play a lot next year, just because he's just such a freak. And, and he'll be a guy you bring in a lot for as a pass rusher. Oh, I cannot wait. But if you could seal the deal on Hicks, you seal the deal on Hicks, which
are we doing that, or is that still kind of up in the air? Because I keep hearing is like it keeps going back and forth.
Well, I feel good about it right now. Like, it's just because A&M beat LSU ain't changing shit. Just like how we lost yesterday isn't changing shit either. So, like, guys are already portaling from A&M already, because you're already seeing a couple guys already saying I'm out later. So I think Hicks is gonna. They just need to get their OU's doing their due diligence and making sure nothing, because like apparently he and the linebacker Sanford are coming too. They're like a package deal.
Yeah.
So Bakari Vickers is not decommitting. No. His dad gets on Twitter. Oh, people! I was like, fans. We see these things, dude. Every fucking fan base has idiots on Twitter. It's like OU's some special exception to that rule.
I mean, to be fair, I'm an idiot.
Oh, I can't believe the fans said, dude. If you think we're bad, look at the conference we're going to right now in a couple of years.
Yeah, Alabama's
the dumbest fans. Tennessee is dumbass fans.
Okay, to be fair, I don't tweet at Croots, so I mean, I have a bar.
Do you know who's actually you know what's actually creepier to me?
Tennessee has the worst fans. Actually, Tennessee is the biggest one. So
you know what's creepier
Tennessee
to
gave
me?
it in Chick-fil-A bags. Don't forget that, Andrew.
Yeah, but what's creepier to me are the parasocial people on Twitter who think they're friends of the recruits. Who the people who are
because the recruit told me David Hicks is going to stay at Texas A&M because
no. I'm talking about the people who are always constantly trying to be overly nice on Twitter.
Yeah,
like who are going well out of their way, which is a little weird and creepy. That's just as weird and creepy as the people who are vicious and mean. Because it's like, just like stop. It's weird. Hey man, you go do you. Like you act like you've been my friend since 6th grade. What the fuck are you doing? It's awkward and weird. Like you're not their friend, dude. Like you're not playing with them on Xbox unless you're Brendan Drum. Anyway,
which I mean, you're not wrong there.
God, like Drum gets info, but God, he's such a bitch.
Yeah,
he's such a fanboy bitch. I hate him.
He has to disconnect from being friends with them, and
that's his problem. He's literally dude on Twitter who tries to become friends with recruits, and it's like gets in the way of business sometimes.
Yeah,
and it's like,
well, it clouds your judgment for it makes me think of work of if you're not able to discipline like an employee or discipline or keep in mind your business for it, you shouldn't be in that position for it. It's just it is what it is.
Anyway,
you can be their friend, but you also you're their work peer, their colleague, however you want to say it. Yeah. So, however you want to put it.
But anyway, we got a few weeks till National Signing Day, and I don't know. Hicks wants to do he's coming to Orlando for the Under Armour game, and I think he wants to do a reveal there. He wants the TV moment that gets on Twitter. He wants to have that because he gets to have 2 of those now apparently. So,
I mean, yeah. Well,
I know his teammate's going to A&M with him at the moment right now. Wants like, hey man, like I kind of want to get a spot wherever you're going. So, can we do this sooner? Like, can we like bump it up and see? But they're trying to get it and people get mad if I bring this up, but like NIL's a part of it. Like he wants to get his money. Like, and like here's the thing: what people have to understand: this was always happening. It's just now you hear it more out and open because it's legal.
Right.
So what do you
don't like it? Yeah, it always happened.
So whenever you hear about recruits like 10 years ago, hey, we're trying to work out like there was always money involved with big time recruits. Like people act like the money thing is new, or they just don't like hearing it. They don't like to see how the sausage is made. Some people, and it gets them mad. And it's like, how do you think Oklahoma became a powerhouse in the 50s because people were just loved Bud Wilkinson? No, there was a fucking slush fund.
Don't tell people that, Sean. That's in a book. Like
it's true. It is. It's like you think oh yeah, Bud Wilkinson was the greatest coach ever. Yeah, maybe, but like there was also a slush fund. And they paid players.
Oh wait, Santa Claus. So wait, does that also mean Santa Claus isn't real?
Santa Claus is very real. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
All right.
Tooth Fairy is not real, sir. Like let's get it right.
Tooth Fairy will fuck you. Tooth Fairy will fuck up your Christmas by kicking your 2 front teeth down your goddamn throat.
But yes, like Bud had a slush fund. Like it's always been there. I mean, no different than Barry. I'm gonna hire Billy Sims to
Barry
$4,000 an hour.
Barry Switzer was quoted famously as saying, Who says I can't pay my babysitter $100 an hour?
Yeah. And I mean, he's not wrong.
I need to find that.
Really
I need to find the actual quote of that source one day. But that's like it's like he's like, who says I can't pay my babysitter $100 an hour?
Yeah, I mean,
he literally bought he had a recruit from Florida that committed to OU, and he didn't have a winter coat, and he bought him a winter coat because he would fucking die. He would freeze to death if he didn't have a goddamn winter coat in fucking Oklahoma in like the goddamn winter months. So it's like, you know what you have in Florida? You have a light jacket, maybe a hoodie. That's what I wear when it kind of gets cool. Like it's November, dude. Yeah. It's not even cold yet. Not even close. It's like in the 70s down here. It'll start to get cold sometime next month.
Yesterday was such a lovely Oklahoma fall winter day where go out at like 6 o'clock, it's freezing and there's mist everywhere. Great.
That was fine.
To drive in.
But that was fine, Andrew. Speaking of which, Sean, I found it. If we're going to call a babysitter for my children, they always say, "Daddy, call JC," meaning Watts. I wonder if the NCAA would frown on paying your babysitter $100 an hour from 1979.
There you go. See, JC Watts. He would pay JC Watts $100 an hour, former congressman, which we know he never took money under the table.
Never.
So, I know, right? Never.
Well, as an athlete or a congressman. So go on.
Exactly. He never did that at all. Ever.
I'm painting with a broad brush. Student athletes and politicians all take money on the table. I'm saying everybody does it. So I'm not picking on JC, but hey, if you can, if you can double dip, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, cashing it in. Is there any recruit we're looking at for, or any current player for transfer portal, Sean? Because I tried finding stuff.
Are you good on the front seven? You're welcome to come in.
That's what I figured. Like it's open for the.
We need. I would like to get a wide receiver, potentially.
A quarterback. Just for depth reasons.
Brent 2 weeks ago said we don't need a quarterback, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Brent's full of shit.
Yeah, Brent is full. Yeah. I mean, Eric Gray's going to the draft. We forgot to mention him. Because go get your money, Eric Gray. You've earned it.
Is Marvin Mims gone, or is he going to stay one more year?
I don't expect Mims to stay. No,
I wouldn't see why not either. But
like, Mims got 1,000 yards this year. He gone pro. He's not going to be a first round pick, but he'll go pro.
What about Weiss? Do you think he'll try to stay one more year, or is he portal out?
I think he stays. I don't think Weiss is a problem. I don't think Weiss finally got the ball yesterday. It seems like the first time in forever. But I know everyone's down. Everyone's like prisoner of the moment. We're all going to be terrible forever, and it's like I don't have the energy to be that guy. I have two like. I got into an interesting conversation with a friend of mine today, and it was he told me, he's like, dude, you're kind of unique. I'm like, how so? It's like, because the shit that you're into like the shit that you're primarily into, usually that type of person is into one of those things, and that's all they care about. Like, what do you mean? So like, if you're into college football, usually that's what you're into. You're really into college football. You don't have that many other interests. Or most people don't, like, if you're into that one thing, that's all your energy goes towards. And like, all he brings up other my nerd shit that I'm into, and it's like,
Oh, you too.
I mean, I guess that's kind of true, but I mean, it's there's but like people like others, like, no, you don't understand. I've seen your fucking shit, what you collect, what you was like. No. You're not. Very few people are that hardcore into that many, like 3 or 4 different things like that. It's like, I guess maybe you have a point. My point is that I have other shit to distract me in the off season that doesn't consume my fucking life. Now, granted, over the past couple of years, I've done year-round stuff on the channel because I like money. I like ad revenue. It's fun, and softball is fun to watch, and that's the less stressful thing to watch because, oh my god, we actually win shit in the sport. But yeah, it's there are people who like OU football is their one big thing, and it just consumes them, and they let it ruin their fucking lives. And
yeah,
you can't let it ruin your fucking life.
Nope.
You can't do it.
Andrew's and I talked about that, where it's like we get bummed. Like, Andrew, let's be honest, you and I were invested.
You have one 6-6 season, and like everyone loses their minds.
I mean,
that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy with 6-6, but I've worked through it. It has happened.
Nebraska.
All we can do is move forward onto Arkansas State or whatever our bowl game is.
No,
yeah,
we have to play with ourselves in April in our spring game. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, we gotta do that first before we face an opponent. But I mean, Andrew and I have talked about this.
Good Lord, dude! I just realized. Can you imagine Jackson Arnold takes the field? The fucking ovation he's gonna get in the spring.
So
game.
What you're telling me is you're gonna fly in for the spring game. And
I ain't flying in for shit. No.
You're gonna drive in for the spring game.
Oh god!
I'm sorry, Uber.
I just realized that they're gonna try to do the Kyler Murray statue, aren't they? I mean, they haven't.
They have to. They announced it last year.
Isn't it amazing? Like the spring game, 75,000 show up for the spring game, and it's like, wow! Like, and everyone's all hyped up. 6-6 season. all the excitement and everything is like 6-6. Like, that's why people are pissed. It's like, this is what we signed up for, 6-6. I don't know if like I love the fucking passive aggressive asshole my live streams. Like, I don't know if Brent's the guy. And it's like, oh, shut up. You motherfuckers panic over everything.
I mean, look, Brent might not be
the guy. If OU doesn't score a touchdown...
You can't say that after one season.
If OU doesn't score a touchdown... If OU doesn't score a touchdown every play, it's like, oh, we suck. Like, I hate all of you so much.
That's not
well, to be fair, I said, based on first impression, I was not a fan of Brent's first year. That being said, I'm not.
No shit! You're not a fan of 6-6? Get the fuck out of here, Josh. You're not a fan of 6-6? You know, I'm just not a fan.
I like losing seasons because I think it's a joke like some players. No, I wasn't a fan of it, but I'm not on fire Brent, because to me that's an unfair standard.
Well, you fire Brent, you turn into the worst. You turn to those fan bases that never, to those programs that never get shit done.
Right.
Just fire everybody.
Right, and that's where I take the stuff into consideration. The
Tennessee's gonna be so bad next year. I don't think they'll be bad as a team. I mean,
look, Josh
Heupel.
Listen,
take a step back.
Look, Josh Heupel beat Bama.
Yeah.
So that gives him at least 5 years.
Fair enough.
Like, for real, like, dude, he beat Bama, who's something that you haven't done since 2006, since Fulmer was a coach. I think he's bought himself some time. He's shown what he can do when he has the right pieces. So now I will say this: Josh, he's got Josh Heupel. I mean, has to.
Oh, I'm disappointed not talking about me. It's not always about me, I guess.
Well, I know there's many Joshes in my life, unfortunately. So it gets confusing.
This is true because there's another friend of yours. You know, when I was growing up, I met no other
You
Josh.
and your fucking, you your
college.
goddamn biblical names, all you fucking people.
Blame my mom, man. I didn't just come out of the womb and be like, I'm going to call myself Joshua today. Yeah, did not happen.
All your goddamn Bible names.
John, Joshua, Joseph. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
I always like it when I get like weird names on my your DoorDash driver is Kasim. Oh, okay. There's not a lot of biblical names for my DoorDash.
You would enjoy my friend's wife's name. Her name is Kiva, but it's not how it sounds. You would think like Kiva. No, it's Caoihme. That's a unique name. And we asked her, like, but why? And she's like, look, I don't know what my parents were on when they said that.
Communist bastard. I'm trying to see if it'll tell me my DoorDash driver names for things. Who was yesterday? It'll tell me. Okay. Yesterday I had Wendy's. I had Yozuzi. These are real names.
That's very unique.
The one before that was Elsa. Let's try another one here. I always get like I was like, I know it's a non-white name, which is it's just true. It's like this person's definitely not white. Like Steven, 50-50. Suhede. S-U-H-E-I-D-Y.
I like that name. Awesome.
Definitely not a white name. So it's just, you could just tell right away that person is definitely not white, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like I can tell you are not going to be a white person.
There was something, Sean, you mentioned with it too, and I think we mentioned it before. Andrew and I have, as well as the people who have their interest in football don't realize too. Like, it's fun. It's fun to be invested, but guess what? It's not everything. How much do we impact the sport?
Well, my uncle always told me I love football, but like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like my fandom is like a 5 or a 6. Like there's the people who like go overboard and like they'll have like the bedlam wedding cakes when they get married or whatever, and it's like, oh, do we have, does everything have to be football? And it's just like, I think you have priorities in life, whatever. But for me, obviously, it's priority because like, that's how I make money. Is like I talk about this damn team all the time, and it's not fun when they suck for a year and you're going to lose out on revenue because people are losing interest. It's like I put OU football in my AP poll reactions, and OU hasn't been in the AP poll in 6 or 7 weeks. So, so it's like why do you title it OU football? Just go with it. I'm going to talk about them at some point. But
you have other interests, though, to get, as you said, to get you through the season, not just with it.
Oh, thank God, dude! Like I'll tell you, like
I have D&D. Like, my goodness, I'm happy I have stuff. Andrew, you have Resident Evil.
God, you're such a nerd, all of you.
I am, Mr. Anime, sir.
Yeah, I am. I have 500 Blu-rays. Anyway,
nerd.
Actually, let me look at what's the count up to now, actually, for real.
Well, while you're looking at the count, but it's like there's other things talking about. Like for me, I think
I'm actually up to 471. So I'm not at 500 yet. I will be by the end of next year. I love Blu-ray.com. Lets me keep control of my my collection. So yeah, I have 470, and I have 219 DVDs. So
that's impressive. Like, that's super impressive.
Honestly, dude, it was way bigger back in my Army days, back in the old aughts when you had the multiple volume releases for things. That was a pain in the ass. So I was up in the 1300s for individual discs back then. So not really. You know how much of a pain in the ass it was to catalog that shit? It's like, all right, you have to move Barrack, or it was, I'm like, fuck.
That's fair.
I actually got nice displays for them right before I left, and then no one really, like, I was in a unit where they didn't inspect rooms very often, so I never had to deal with like that weird moment with your NCOs, and then I had a new guy come in. He's like, "Hey man, like, you want to watch Code Geass? I got like, we could or whatever. We could do this." And he comes to my breakfast and he goes, "Damn!" I was like, "Oh yeah, that. You can take a look if you want." It's like, "What are you, a fucking video store?" I was like, "I never thought of it that way, but sure, it could be." Yeah.
Could be, but again though, it's you have to Andrew. You have stuff that you do in the off season. Like football is important. Like we're a little more invested because obviously we're here.
Like,
Andrew,
dude,
you're in my fantasy league.
Dude, what's helped me over the past few weeks, because I've been like, thankfully the past few weeks have been way more manageable because I'm on medication now. Woo! But
Right.
I've been catching up on stuff I've been meaning to watch, and I finally got to watch Michiko and Hachin. That was fucking great.
It was okay. That one was okay.
I really like Michiko and Hachin a lot. It was a lot of fun.
I felt like it just didn't go anywhere. I was just like, this is kind of the same
they
thing. But
they found Hiroshi. Well, that's where it was going.
I just wasn't impressed.
They got to Hiroshi, but no, it wasn't about just finding Hiroshi. It was about the whole story was like, you don't need no fucking man in your life. It was about it was about the friends we made along the way. It literally was. It was like the true friendship.
I hate that you're right.
Michiko and Hachi is like the friendship they made along the way.
Hey, that's what God of War is. It's all about the friends who I've maimed and hurt as I've gotten there.
I finally sat down and watched Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. Fucking great.
Hysterical. Love that one. Goodness, that was great.
I didn't watch the dub because I'm a sub snob, but someone told me no, watch the dub.
You have to watch the dub. It's one of the few times, even the people who did it, they're like, they didn't realize they were going to take it that wacky with it, and they said they changed it entirely. Fantastic. My favorite has to still be the Transformers parody.
Yeah, the Transformers parody was really
spot on. And the last episode, and they're getting season 2.
They either got a really good sound alike, or they actually got the dude who was the narrator for the 80s Transformers.
No, it was the 80s.
Okay, it was actually the dude, because like, oh my god, they actually got the narrator from the 80s cartoon. And now we continue. The Transformers will return after this. Like, holy shit, they got him. That was awesome, and they got him to do the narration for the parody. That was like great.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's Victor. What's his face?
But I'm like, they got that dude. It's like, oh my god, this totally makes this episode with him voicing this.
Apparently, they wanted to make that. That was like pre-Pop Team Epic, before Pop Team Epic or whatever.
But
yeah, they brought him in.
Pop Team Epic is shit posting. Is literal shit posting. It's like, it's not for everybody, but Pop Team Epic is really, really funny. If you're
one of those, it's not for me.
You have to be in the right mood, and you have to like. They make it's a deep cut show. Yeah. So you have to get some of the references they're doing. So when they make a reference to Masami Obari directed anime, it's not going to mean anything to you when they do a 6 or 7 minute long segment showing a bunch of like robots and character designs. Like this week's episode was, they literally did a parody of like 90s delinquent, like a male delinquent episodes type of thing, or getting into fights or whatever, like that type of thing. And it was like, oh my god, they literally did the style. It was 4:3. The style, they literally animated it in the style of like guys with pompadours and like so
it was basically Animaniacs, where I get all the references for Animaniacs. Pop Team, it's like I'll get it here and there, but nowhere near.
But like they'll do like 30-second jokes, and like there's different animation styles, and so you don't like this. There's a segment everyone will like. Like you may not like every segment, but maybe you like this one, maybe you like this one, and of course what people who don't get they always do it. It's in one episode, they do the same episode twice, but they do it with, and there's always guest voice actors too.
Yeah.
So they get 2 guest female actors and then 2 guest male actors do the roles of the 2 girls. And so like this week it was Shinji and Asuka for the Japanese voice actors from Evangelion, and then they got Gendo, Akari, and the head of Sele. So it was like, that's what really makes it work. It makes it funny if you know who the voice actors are. So it's very, very deep cut shit. So that's why for some people it's like it doesn't like work as well. And I know like we have lost everybody who's coming in is like, what the fuck are they talking about? And I'm like, it's like we're an hour and 15 into this shit and the season's over and I don't give a fuck anymore. So I'm talking about Pop Team Epic right now.
We're talking Pop Team Epic. Andrew, you've been playing God of War and you've been obsessed with that. I mean, that's what we're here for. If they have questions, they're more than welcome to throw them in chat. But I mean, yeah.
I want to talk about something that makes me happy. OU football has not made me happy this year. So
anime makes you happy, though. The new Gundam has made you happy.
The new Gundam's great, and fuck all the Nazis who hate it. Because I just assume you're a Nazi if you don't like the new Gundam.
To be fair, too, the Cowboys make you happy as well. The Dallas
Cowboys have made me happy this year.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys are winning, and they're likely going to make the playoffs. I think they can still potentially win the division. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't know.
Eagles are winning right now.
God damn it, I was about to ask. I was about to find out like who's winning the game between the Packers and the Eagles right now.
It's 27.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers could fail upwards and find a way to win this game. It's possible.
Exactly.
No, man, his thumb's like falling off.
Oh, well, I am so sad about that.
Yeah, it's
Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Eagles are driving, so it's going to be. But we're gonna unless the Packers defense can do something good.
Fuck the Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. The Packers. Can they both lose?
The fact that the Eagles lucked into Jalen Hurts is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
I still think Jalen Hurts is gonna like bust at some point. I know people love him now. I don't think it's gonna work out long term. I think he's like a couple years. He's done.
I mean, everyone fails long term, so.
I know Kyler finally came back and played today.
But then he also said too, we're F. Our system sucks.
Yeah, but his style, but I mean, I kind of agree. Jalen's style of play, all those hits add up after a while. Like, I mean, it's cool if he can do it, but he's definitely more flawed. So, but we'll see though. Maybe it works out for him. Some guys it works out for. I thought Josh Allen was going to be inaccurate because all guys like Josh Allen are inaccurate in the NFL, and I was horribly wrong about that. That's one of my biggest L's of all time.
Well, I remember the conversation about Josh Allen was like he was a rookie when I was still in Full Sail. And some people were talking about Josh Allen. I was like, man, I don't know, man. We'll see. But now he's like one of the star QBs of the league. So props to him, man. He overcame it. Well, my problem with Josh Allen, because everyone was like, he was the dude ever like he's got a big arm, and I'm like, the big arm doesn't always mean anything. Like you have to have other intangibles. So now he runs the ball like a motherfucker, so that helps too. But but like the whole he's got a big arm, like having a big arm is so overrated in the NFL.
It doesn't. He's the best thing to come out of Wyoming, though.
It's like a dude who can really drives well on the driving range. Oh, he can drive the ball. Okay, do you have finesse? Do you have skill? Can you putt? Can you do all these other little things that matter? But but the Bills are going to continuously with Josh Allen. They'll continue to make moderate playoff runs and always come up short because that's what the Bills do.
Aw, poor Bills. First down Eagles, first and goal.
I mean, if it with
Bills, do you think that Andrew? Do you think then they're going to make Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl?
I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because the AFC they could go on a run. The AFC's tough though. I mean, the problem with the AFC is you have to get past Mahomes. And Mahomes is tough to get by. So
the Dallas Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl this year because I said so.
No, I'm not talking just this year. I'm talking just in general. Not this year. That's not what I meant.
So am I. In general, the Dallas Cowboys will win the Super Bowl. It's going to happen.
Mahomes, the AFC, Mahomes is just tough to get. You always have to get by Mahomes. That's
man, like you see, they're trying to cancel. People are trying to cancel Jerry Jones for being in that picture from like the 50s. At the protest.
What are you talking about?
Well, Jerry Jones, when he was like 14 years old, was in the background of a picture of like trying to prevent black students from going to an Arkansas like high school.
Yeah, that's not new information. That's not new information.
It is to the internet.
Fair. Okay, fair.
Jerry Jones, racist.
That's been out there for years.
It's like, dude, I hate to break the bad news, but 14-year-old Jerry Jones probably was racist. Okay, I'm not like we're not fucking stupid. I was like, I can't believe Jerry Jones. Like, dude, yeah, it was Arkansas in the 50s, and he was 14 years old. Dude was probably racist as fuck and was raised that way. But I'm not gonna hold it against a 14-year-old who was racist in the 50s because his pa was like, a Klan member probably. And like took him to rallies to like make him a real man back in the day. Like, no, I'm not gonna.
I'd actually be surprised if his dad was not part of it. Like,
I don't care. Like Jerry Jones, but it's like, dude, it's Jerry Jones. Like,
that's a literal product of the time type of deal.
80 years old. It's like he's never had a black head coach. All right, yeah, that's not just a Dallas Cowboys problem, by the way. So let's just hiring black coaches in the NFL it's not just a Dallas Cowboys issue. So let's not pretend that it's just this one franchise. Like, I wish there were more Mike Tomlins in the world too, but give it time.
I hate that man.
Who, Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, but I'm a Browns fan, so.
Oh well.
I mean, but at the same time, I respect Mike Tomlin.
You got to win. You got to win today, I guess. Congratulations.
Yeah, we beat.
Does your rapist quarterback start next week?
He does.
That's right. Your rapist quarterback starts next week. Congratulations,
Andrew. That means you're going to have to be on Livestream again here next week to just tell us how that went.
I mean, it's the Texans, and the Texans are going to start Kyle Allen.
They did that shit on fucking purpose, and you know it.
I mean,
they did that shit on fucking purpose. He's suspended how many games? 11. Yeah. He'll come back just in time to play the Texans. You fucks. How can we get ratings with a rapist quarterback coming back and playing against his old team?
I mean, worked for Big Ben. So.
Yeah, people forget he's a fucking rapist too, but he got off on.
Yeah,
I don't even remember that.
Oh, dude, that was I don't even remember. Ben Roethlisberger was a problem child in his.
That was like a year. That was like a year or two before Twitter really took off.
Oh my god,
he would not have survived.
He would not have fucking survived nowadays. No, are you kidding me?
No.
Ben Roethlisberger in the Twitter era being accused of rape, fuck that shit. He would have been done for.
No.
Yeah, see, and I didn't know that on that. Yeah.
Now, he survived because it was kind of a he said, she said, and it was like there was no proof, all these little things, but it was like, because he didn't, like, it was one of those where he didn't go allegedly all the way type of things. I was like, I'm not trying to be a little victim here, but it was just, there's a reason he didn't go to jail. Like he was a bitch about not wearing a helmet or riding a motorcycle. He got
he almost
I ain't wearing no helmet. He was one of those meatheads. I ain't wearing a helmet, like motherfucker.
he should have died there. I hate to say it.
I'm gonna go to war, not wear my helmet. Okay, you be a hero. you go be G.I. Joe without wearing your helmet.
They were just trying to prove a point, Sean. They're just trying to prove a point.
But yeah, I mean, is what it is. I mean, I wish Jacoby was good enough to start. I wish Baker was good. I wish Baker was good enough to start, but damn.
Yeah,
Baker's gonna go to another team probably. So.
He will. Yeah, he will. He will. I wish him the best. Like, I mean,
he'll have free time to come to the spring game next year. Probably.
Exactly. He'll sign some autographs, make up some of that cash. My cough is starting to act up, guys, so I want to wrap this up. I do have one question. What do y'all think about the Nebraska and Wisconsin hires?
So Nebraska hire is going to fail miserably. I think Rural's going to fail, but I also feel like out of everyone available, that was the best guy they could have gotten. So, but I think there are bigger issues in Nebraska than Rule. I think Fickle is a guy who's going to stay. Love that for Wisconsin. He's either going to stay there 10 years or he'll use it as a jumping off point in 5. We'll see. It kind of depends how things go.
Matt Rule at Baylor. 2015, 1-11. In 2017, 12-2, or 11-2, and should have beaten Oklahoma both times, probably. Now, this will be a litmus test for Nebraska. Like, I do wonder how much of that was just having easy access to high school, Texas high school football, because there's a lot of hidden gems in Texas high school football. So to me, this is not the ultimate test, but it's like to me, the ultimate test: can Urban Meyer and Nick Saban walk into your school and turn you around overnight and make you a championship contender? If they can't do that, you're fucked. Matt Rule is like one of those guys in college. It's like, okay, he took Baylor, who should have been a dead program, brought it back to life, and now here they are. Baylor keeps getting really good coaches despite everything they've done. I don't know. He's going to have to dig really deep for recruiting. He's going to have to convince a lot of kids to leave the state of Texas or go wherever he needs to go, because he's going to have to like tap those veins down there big time. I mean, if he fails, if Nebraska can't do it with him, it's like, okay, maybe it's a you problem, guys. Maybe you're maybe something's wrong up there. It's not like everyone they've hired has been a slam dunk just because. I know Scott Frost was supposed to be the hero and everyone wanted. Didn't work out there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we'll see what Nebraska looks like in about 2 or 3 years. But because that's what's going to take. Like it's just like Matt Rule doesn't rebuild you overnight.
No,
like he needs a couple. He's going to need a couple years. So we'll see what when they're playing the USC Trojans or the UCLA Bruins in a couple of years in conference play. God, that's going to be fucking weird. A Big Ten conference game between Nebraska and USC. You told me that if you had told me that in 2000, I'd be like, Big Ten conference game? What the fuck?
Did you hack your NCAA copy?
You couldn't even do it back then on the PlayStation 1.
Like I said, did you hack it then? So
now, like with the polygonal box fit, like football players, the boxy looking players, like they look like just like, oh, you should see like how polygonal they look. It's like big boxy transformer looking motherfuckers in that game. Anyway,
those were the days. Those were the excuse me. Those were the days.
and the show's over.
Yeah, the show's over. So. Sean, Andrew, I want to thank you for joining me yet again tonight on Sunday, post OU season at this point. Guys, remember, going forward, I'm going to mention at the end of every single live stream for it, if you need help, call 988. If you're feeling alone, if you're feeling depressed, if there are people for you to reach out, you need people do want you here. So, again, that number is 988. So, guys, I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight. Everybody, I'll see y'all Wednesday. Probably Gavin and Swiggy and I are probably going to recap a little bit of the season, just kind of go over that and look forward to what our thoughts will be going forward with it. So, Boomer Sooner, guys, only one Oklahoma. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Y'all have a good one.
Later.